Okay, so let's get right into it. When you hear the words product return or recall, what comes to mind? Probably a huge headache, right? Costs, angry customers, brand damage. But what if I told you that entire process could be flipped on its head? What if it could go from being a massive liability to a genuine strategic asset? Well, that's what we're going to unpack today, the reverse logistics revolution.
Take a look at this number, 81 million. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many units were recalled worldwide in the massive Takata airbag crisis. It's a number that just perfectly captures the unbelievable scale of a modern recall. It's not just a problem, it's a logistical nightmare that can bring even the biggest companies to their knees.
And that right there is the key. When a company fumbles a recall, it's not just a shipping and receiving issue. It's a very public failure of governance. It absolutely shreds customer trust, it craters your brand's reputation, and in the worst cases, it can lead to total corporate collapse, which is exactly what happened with Takata.
Now, here's a really cool way to think about this whole thing. Imagine your supply chain is like a circulatory system. Getting products to the customer, that's forward logistics. Those are the arteries, right? They're built for speed, efficiency, all about delivering value. But getting products back, that's reverse logistics. Those are the veins. Their job isn't to create value, it's to control risk. And the thing is, the process is unpredictable, it's messy, and for most companies, it's a dangerously underdeveloped part of their business.
So why is this Venus system so often broken? I mean, what's the deal? Well, the problem isn't just that companies ignore it. It's actually way deeper, rooted in ancient systems and a really basic misunderstanding of what a return even is.
So inside a typical company, it's basically chaos. Every department is pulling in a different direction. You've got the logistics team, and their only goal is to process returns fast, just get them off the warehouse floor. But then you have the quality team, who wants to inspect every single little thing, which of course creates a huge bottleneck. Meanwhile, accounting is over there scratching their heads. They have no clue how to value all the stuff that's in limbo. And governance? They're trying to slap on strict controls that just slow the whole thing down even more. The result is total gridlock, information silos, and ultimately, systemic failure.
So with all this chaos and all these broken processes, companies usually fall back on a tool they know, a tool millions of us use every single day. But in a recall crisis, this familiar tool might just be the single most dangerous piece of software you could possibly use. Any ideas what it is?
Yep, good old Microsoft Excel. Now, trying to manage a recall of millions of units with a bunch of disconnected spreadsheets, well, some experts have literally called it legal suicide. And why is that? Because it's a complete black box. There's no reliable audit trail, it's begging for human error, and it gives you no way to find a single source of truth when the regulators start asking questions.
I mean, the difference here is just night and day. On one hand, you've got this Excel-based mess. It's disconnected, it's manual, it's completely reactive. On the other, you have a modern, system-based approach that's integrated, automated, and proactive. Every single click is logged. The rules are baked right into the system. Data just flows. It's like the difference between trying to fight a fire with a leaky bucket versus having a built-in sprinkler system.
So, how do we build that sprinkler system? Well, the solution isn't just about new tech. It demands a really big shift in how we think, a paradigm shift that you can actually boil down to one single powerful sentence.
It all starts with this question. We know the old model is broken, but just buying fancy new software won't fix anything if you're still stuck in the old way of thinking. The real change, the fundamental change, has to be in our perspective.
And this is the secret sauce. This is the new philosophy. A returned product is not just a physical thing taking up space in your warehouse. No, it's an asset that is transitioning through a series of states. It goes from quarantined to inspected to its final disposition. And trust me, this isn't just playing with words. It is the architectural key to the entire modern system.
So let's see what this actually looks like when you put it into practice. When you start treating a return as a state, you can build what's called a control tower, a totally integrated system that governs the entire journey of a returned product.
The core engine for this is something called stock status design. Now, instead of just shoving all the returns into a dusty corner of the warehouse, the system categorizes every single item by its status. And this is so important. It means a faulty product that's in quarantine status cannot be accidentally shipped or sold, even if it's sitting on the exact same shelf as a perfectly good product in resale-ready status. The system just won't allow it.
So here's how that life cycle, that journey through different states, actually works. First, an RMA number is created. Think of it like a passport for that one specific product. The second that item arrives at the warehouse, boom, it's immediately put into a quarantine state. It's locked down, it can't be sold, it can't be shipped. Only after it moves to the inspected state and a decision is made can its final state, its disposition, be determined.
And behind all this, the real magic is that all the different parts of the business are finally connected and seeing the same reality in real time. The sales team, the warehouse crew, the quality inspectors, the finance department, they're all looking at the same single source of truth. It ensures every single step is perfectly synced up, from the product's physical movement to its value on the company's books. It's a system that's literally designed to make doing the wrong thing almost impossible.
So what's the real-world impact of a system like this? Well, just look at Walmart. In the old days, if they needed to trace where a single box of mangoes came from, it would take them, get this, 7 days, a full week of digging through paper records and spreadsheets. After they put in a new traceability system with IBM, you know how long it took? 2.2 seconds. I mean, the difference is just staggering. That is the power of total traceability.
But here's the thing. This isn't just about preventing disasters faster. This new model actually opens up a whole new world, a future where that reverse logistics system, those veins, becomes a brand new source of value for the company.
And look, there's a huge wave of regulation coming that is going to force everyone's hand. It's called the EU's Digital Product Passport, or DPP. And what it is a mandatory digital record that's going to track a product's entire life, from the raw materials all the way to recycling.
And if you're thinking, oh, that's years away, you really need to think again. This timeline is aggressive. It kicks off with batteries in 2027, then it's immediately followed by textiles and electronics, and by 2030, it's going to cover most physical goods. If you want to sell products in Europe, the kind of system we've been talking about, it's not a nice-to-have anymore. It's going to be a requirement to do business, period.
But again, the really smart companies aren't groaning about this. They're not looking at it as a burden. They see it as a massive opportunity. Because think about it. A product with a complete, verifiable history, its own passport, is just inherently more valuable. It can be repaired more easily, resold with confidence, and recycled more efficiently. You're literally turning waste into a resource.
And this gives rise to a whole new way of measuring success, a brand new KPI, asset recovery value. It's a pretty simple formula, actually. It just measures what percentage of a product's original cost you were able to get back through resale, repair, or recycling. It's a direct, hard number that tells you how good you are at turning a potential liability back into a real asset.
So when you put it all together, here's the bottom line. Mastering reverse logistics isn't just a defensive play to manage risk anymore. A well-designed system built on these ideas of traceability and state management, that system is the fundamental engine you need to power the circular supply chains of the future.
And that leaves us with one final crucial question that you have to ask yourself. When you really look at your own operations, is your returns process a ticking time bomb, just a hidden liability waiting to go off? Or is it the foundation for your next great competitive advantage? The choice really is yours.